Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH the Flame Emperor episode number 187 based on novel. So let's start. Queen Medusa. The smile on King Xuanling's face gradually solidified, and then he stared solemnly at the figure in front of him. This beautiful figure exudes 10 different halos, but the green is the most dazzling. In this green halo, a monstrous poison gas makes King Xuanling slightly surprised. The guy who is inherited by the Medusa royal family. The highest bloodline of the Medusa clan is called the 10-colored sky-swallowing python. If it truly reaches the power of the 10-color, it will undoubtedly be comparable to the powerhouse at the pinnacle of Xiao, and now this Queen Medusa, one of the 10 colors, is so dazzling. It is clear that he has mastered the power of one color, and successfully reached the level of one-star fighting immortals. According to the ancient book records obtained by King Xuanling, if he could obtain the blood of the Medusa royal family swallowing python, he would have a great chance to weaken the power of the holy flame and devour the holy flame. Although Yang is not in the hands of Xuanling King now, but Xuanling King does not take it seriously. After all, what he planted on Yanqi's body is enough to let Yang return to his own hands. Humph. Humble ants, even his own father is not spared. The word animal is quite commensurate with you. Kaylin's beautiful eyes glanced slightly, and then she said, in the words, a contempt slowly appeared, towards Xuanling Wang's behavior is quite disgusting. Winning the king and defeating the bandit, everything is just the public opinion of future generations. If you have enough strength, you can change it. King Xuanling stared fiercely at Kaylin. As you go. The last time I just left the customs, I happened to have something at that time, and you ran away by luck, but today, I'm afraid you won't be able to leave. Kaylin Meimu stared at King Xuanling with a strong killing intent. When he just left the customs, in order to save Xiao Yan, he didn't have time to deal with him, otherwise, with Kaylin's temperament, I am afraid that the previous time, King Xuanling would have been slashed by 1,000 swords. Queen Medusa, don't go too far. Otherwise, we will break the net with our Xuanling royal family, and in the end, the only benefit will be the benefit of others. Although Xuanling King devoured the power of Shenshin, his strength soared directly from the level of Do Emperor to the early stage of one-star Xian, but in front of face-to-face Queen Medusa couldn't help but weaken her aura. Not to mention, this woman just inherited the power of the ancestors in the Temple of Medusa. That power can bring destruction to the Xuanling royal family. Disaster. And not to mention, this time, in order to get rid of his two major worries, King Xuanling made the two powerful immortal fighters of the Xuanling royal family directly fall. The current Xuanling royal family, the superficial power, it is rude to say that apart from the strength of King Xuanling, who is now a one-star Xian, the strongest of the other powerhouses is the strength of Emperor Qin Tian-do at the peak. This time is undoubtedly the weakest time for the Xuanling royal family. The arrival of the Medusa family is undoubtedly taking advantage of your illness to kill you. The fish died and the net broke. Why didn't you say that when you attacked our Medusa family? My Medusa snake guard and many strong men have all fallen in the hands of your Xuanling royal family. This kind of hatred is not so easy to resolve. And the grievances between our two clans are not a day or two. Kaylin said coldly, my son of the Medusa family, how much has fallen in the hands of your Xuanling royal family? I think you should know better than me. I'm here this time just to collect some interest. Cai Lin naturally sensed King Xuanling's strength in the early stage of fighting immortals. Killing intent. This bastard. King Xuanling couldn't help but explode when he heard this. Gorefiend, gather your strength and mine, can you slaughter this woman? The next moment, King Xuanling directly asked the source power of the Gorefiend entrenched in his body. No, this guy in front of him has the extremely tyrannical strength of the swallowing python. With the power of blood, I am afraid that I may not be able to conquer her even if I come. That trace of the blood demon made the source power slowly shook his head, with a heavy face. But she seems to be able to help you decipher that ancestor statue. We are like this. The next moment, the evil aura said, it's possible. When Xuanling King heard this, a strange thought flashed in his heart, and then he stared at the color scale in front of him. Suffer to death, King Xuanling. Xian Santian's death in a lonely desert is not suitable for our Medusa clan to survive. After your Xuanling royal family is destroyed, it will naturally be. Kaylin finished speaking, her delicate jade hand raised slightly. Among the 10 colors, an extremely bright green energy suddenly condensed on the jade hand, and then lightly tapped against the Xuanling King. Whoosh! The terrifying strong wind surged out directly from Kaylin's jade hand, and swept away suddenly towards the side where Xuanling King was. Bang bang bang. With the color scales so easy, the void that the green beams swept across suddenly collapse. So strong. King Shenling felt such a powerful blow from Queen Medusa, and immediately snorted coldly, and the power of life and death suddenly burst out. Although King Xuanling's strength has now reached a 1-star dose yan, the power of life and death in his body has not yet been fused, and there is no way to use the force of dose yan. Despite the strength and defense of King Shenling, Queen Medusa's blow so easily hit King Shenling in an instant, and then suddenly exploded tick-tock. Drop by drop of blood kept dripping down from King Xuanling's body, and then the arm of King Shenling was forcibly hit by Queen Medusa's green beam with a hole the size of a dragon's eye. Although the hole the size of a dragon's eye was tiny, the venomous poison kept coming from it, making King Xuanling's complexion change drastically. "Stop it for me!" King Shenling shouted violently, and then the blacken of life and death suddenly rushed towards the wound. He knew that if he didn't stop the wound in time, his arm would be ruined by toxin erosion. Boom boom boom. As the toxin at the wound was stopped by Shenling King, the toxin also stopped spreading, but a numb feeling kept coming from the arm. Obviously this time, this arm cannot be used temporarily. The Medusa family. You bastards. All of this is the plan of that old guy in Nu Dong. King Shenling couldn't help scolding. Nudong has already fallen, and the rest is your turn. Kaelin finished speaking, playing with a bunch of green light on the palm of his hand, and then the green light, like the king of from the depths of hell. I never imagined that the famous 10-colored sky-swallowing python would be so tyrannical. Just when Kaelin was about to kill the Shenling King with one blow, a monstrous evil force was slowly born from the Shenling King's body. At this time, King Xuanling's pupils were also infected with an unusually evil aura. This breath. Could it be an alien race? With the appearance of the evil blood energy on King Xuanling's body, Kaelin's pupils radiated a hint of solemnity. Kaelin's information about the extraterritorial evil clan was naturally revealed to him by the Medusa clan, but Kaelin also knew from the mouths of some seniors that everyone of this extraterritorial evil clan got it and executed it. This breath seems to be somewhat similar to the blood demon gold aura on Xiao Yang's body. What's going on? After a while, Kaelin said slightly when staring at the evil aura on King Xuanling's body. The evil aura that suddenly appeared on Shenling King's body at this time was incompatible with this world, as if it was constantly devouring the gods of this world. If Kaelin had not possessed the power of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python's blood to protect his body, he would probably have been suppressed by it. The 10-colored sky-swallowing python really lives up to its reputation. With the appearance of the color, King Xuanling's voice changed, and he spoke out slightly. "Pretend to be a ghost. King Shenling, you are going to die today," Kaelin said coldly, and the perfect strength of 1-star fighting immortal swept out in an instant, causing the space on the 7th floor of the underground palace to emit a slight tremor. "This guy, I'm still useful, so I can't die for the time being. And it's not just this guy, even the Shenling royal family can't have an accident for the time being." Since King Xuanling's pupils turned bloody, his aura and even his voice have changed. Kaelin knows that the person who now controls King Xuanling's body is not King Shenling himself, and the evil aura hidden in King Shenling. "What if I insist on killing?" In Kaelin's voice, a queen's demeanor full of fearlessness burst out suddenly, and her beautiful eyes squinted slightly. "In that case, I'm afraid the fish will die and the net will be broken. But even if you have the strength of a 2-star Dozyan, I have enough strength to seriously hurt you. Even, fall." A threatening voice came out of King Xuanling's mouth. "You threaten me?" When Kaelin heard this, her brows furrowed and she became slightly displeased. "I'm telling the truth." King Shenling also kept his eyes fixed on Kaelin. Snake burst. Kaelin's voice just fell, and the bright green light beam in his hand suddenly turned into an extremely emerald green snake, roaring away at Shenling King. "Hehe, this Queen Medusa is really domineering." Upon seeing this, King Shenling lifted it up, and the seemingly terrifying fluctuation instantly turned into nothingness, but what Kaelin didn't realize was that his green beam attack, although it was hidden by the Shenling King in secret. Seeing this, Kaelin couldn't help but stop the attack. Although the attack he just made was inconspicuous, he had the confidence to kill the Shenling King in the early stage of the 1-star fighting immortal. To be easily destroyed. This guy has devoured the power of Shenshin, and his strength has reached the level of the early stage of 1-star fighting immortals. If you add the evil power in his body, I am afraid that if you really want to fight to the death, it will not do us any good. Moreover, the hidden evil power in King Shenling is very strange. We have to find a time to communicate with Xiao Yang, hoping to solve the blood demon gold energy in him. Kalin Meimu thought for a while, then immediately shaking his head, he tried to turn away. I don't know what you have to do with the Gorefiend. But the Gorefiend has planted Gorefiend's golden energy on my most important person. Maybe the next time we meet, I will take your life with him. After Kalin finished speaking, she slowly disappeared into the 7th floor of the underground palace. In fact, to be honest, the reason why Kalin let go of King Xianling was on the one hand because of the blood demon golden aura on Xiao Yang's body. Otherwise, with Kalin's current strength, he really wanted to kill King Xianling and foreign evil clan. There are many ways. With Kalin's departure, King Xuanling's pupils became extremely hideous. Son of a bitch. This Queen Medusa has something to do with that kid. The Gorefiend Gold Chi is the power I planted, and the Gorefiend Left Guard is guarding the Mad Wood Immortal Master. Since the Gorefiend Left Guard has completely fallen, I am afraid that Holy Flame will also come out. The smell of flame on the young man named Xiao Yang just now is quite the same as that of Huixin Tianyang. After King Xianling finished speaking, the evil aura in his body slowly subsided, and then he returned to King Xuanling's original appearance. A trace of the source power of the Gorefiend had just left the body of King Xianling, and King Xianling was sitting on the ground, gasping for breath. Just when the Gorefiend was attached to himself, the mobilization swallowed it up. I have a lot of fighting spirit, so I am a little weak at this time. Queen Medusa was temporarily scared off by me. But this guy seems to have some ambiguous relationship with the guy named Xiao Yang in Funxiang Pavilion. The Gorefiend couldn't help but said, Xiao Yang in the Burning Incense Pavilion? Blood Demon Envoy, this time in the sect competition, I need to kill all the trial disciples of the super sects. When the time comes, we will gather the strength of your 2 clans, and the entire Xianling continent will be ours. Xianling King suddenly decided what is decided in general, said. It's decided. Seeing that King Xianling was so sure, the Gorefiend was overjoyed. It's decided, transplant the blood curse into the bodies of our members of the Xianling royal family. King Xianling said slowly, closing his eyes after saying that, still a little reluctant in his heart. Hey, I'll wait for your words. After hearing the words of the source of the blood demon, he said slightly. But besides that, there is one more thing to do. The next moment, the Gorefiend said. You reading www.ukangshu.com. What's the matter? King Xianling was anxious to find a place to retreat to absorb the power of Shenshin, and hesitated. You ancestors of the Xianling royal family. After the blood demon emissary finished speaking, a green beam of light flashed in the palm of the hand that the color scales just attack. This is. Seeing the highly poisonous green light beam, King Xianling couldn't help but shrink tightly. Look. After the Gorefiend finished speaking, he raised the green beam in his hand slightly, added some other power, and then slowly swept away towards the silver statue. Crash. The poisonous beam seemed to be attracted by something, and went directly to the silver statue. At this time, the silver statue that had always stood still suddenly shattered slightly, and then an extremely powerful burst of light shattered. The breath seems to be about to wake up. See the master. After a while, the mysterious sealing power of the petrified pupil of Medusa, which wrapped the ancestors of the Xianling royal family, actually shattered under the green light beam swung by the Gorefiend, and then a terrifying voice containing the coercion of heaven and earth was heard. Slowly echoing in this space. See master. A majestic voice slowly echoed on the 7th floor of the entire underground palace. However, after the old man finished speaking, he didn't turn his eyes away, he just looked at King Xianling like a newborn child, who regarded King Xianling as his closest person. This. King Xianling forcibly endured the dazzling power in his body, and then opened his mouth slightly. At this time, the silver statue had been shattered, and some were just an old man. The old man had a vicissitudes of life, but the pupils were abnormally white, and then he stared at the Xianling king and called respectfully. Blood demon, what are you doing? King Xianling, who was a little frightened by this sudden scene, couldn't help but let out a loud cry. The old man in front of him was the ancestor of their Xianling royal family, with the strength of a dignified 2-star fighting immortal. Even if King Xianling had 10,000 courage, he would not dare to admit this relationship rashly, otherwise he would not be able to eat and walk around. King Xianling, don't worry. Since you have decided to plant the blood curse of our Gorefiends in your Xianling royal family, then as the Gorefiend clan chief, I naturally want to give you some benefits. The blood-colored Gorefiend origin power laughed. How is this going? Medusa's power just now? King Xianling was also a person with extremely sharp eyes, and he just discovered some clues. That can no longer be called Medusa. The power of the pure blood of the 10-color swallowing python, the power of one color alone, can crack the petrified pupil of Medusa. Thankfully, the little girl just now has too little practice, so I don't know the secret, said the blood demon. Is this the founder of our Xianling royal family? The next moment, after hearing the Gorfian's explanation, King Xuanling's eyes looked at the old man full of vicissitudes in front of him. The founder of the Xianling royal family, Xian Kang, a powerhouse in the middle stage of the two-star Dozian, once alone fought against the Medusa clan with 3 Dozian sitting in the town, but was defeated by one of the Medusa in the early stage of the two-star Dozian. The royal family cast the petrified pupil of Medusa, and thus was completely sealed. I can't imagine that after thousands of years, it will be resurrected after all. King Xianling couldn't help but said, resurrection? It's not resurrection. Although the seal of Medusa's petrified pupil has indeed been lifted, the soul power and mind of this Xian Kang have probably already been wiped out. The Gorfiend shook his head and said, destroyed? How can it be? Xian Kang, he has the strength in the middle stage of the two-star Dozian. Xianling King heard this, and naturally he couldn't believe it. Ha, you must have underestimated Medusa's petrified pupil. The Medusa family is known to control the most tormenting soul attack, and the petrified pupil of Medusa is an unpredictable soul attack. It can even be said unceremoniously that the petrified pupil of Medusa, I am afraid that in your human world, among the soul attacks, it can be ranked first. The Gorfiend said obviously with some fear. Even he didn't dare to face Medusa's petrified pupil rashly, otherwise, if he was accidentally sealed, it would be more painful than being suppressed by holy flames. A person who has been hit with the petrified pupil of Medusa will be instantly sealed into a stone statue, and will be tortured by the soul all day long, even if your ancestor is powerful. So many years have passed, the mind and soul in the body power, it has long since ceased to exist, said the Gorfiend. Bastard. King Xianling couldn't help but shout when he heard this. But it's fine. Although there is no soul power and mind, the guy in front of him has extremely well-preserved strength, and his current strength is also a genuine two-star Dozian early-stage powerhouse. You just need to inject your soul power to enter. This Xian Kang will be dominated by you and will always submit to you, said the Gorfiend. Is this true? King Xianling was overjoyed when he heard the words. Don't you know if you try it, said the Gorfiend. Soul power, go out. Xianling King heard the words, directly mobilized a huge soul power from his body, and then poured it into Xian Kang's body. At this time, Xian Kang seemed to be like a newly born child, and did not resist, allowing King Xuanling's soul power to enter. Boom boom boom. After a few breaths passed, the pupils of the Xianling King suddenly became crazy, and a wild laughter suddenly echoed in the 7th floor of the underground palace. Ha ha ha. Xianxin, have you seen it? The power of the ancestors of the Xianling royal family that you have planned for so many years has finally arrived in my body. What a founder of the Xianling royal family. From now on, my Xianling royal family will completely bloodbath the entire Shenzhen 3 days. And Xiao Yang's little bastards, kill my outstanding disciple, and when the strength in my body stabilizes, I will definitely go to your burning incense pavilion to be a dignitary. King Xuanling's frantic voice echoed slowly. It seems to be a success. However, this Xian Kang's end is also extremely bleak, and it actually ended up like this. After the blood demon emissary finished speaking, he slowly disappeared, obviously going to plant a blood curse. Their blood demons suffered heavy losses in the previous war between heaven and earth. If they wanted to recover their vitality, they had to rely on the blood of human beings. And the best way to collect human blood is to cooperate with King Xianling. After all, they have cooperated with King Xianling for so many years, and King Xianling has provided them with a lot of human blood, many of which were secretly collected by King Xianling from the disciples who competed with Fenxiang Pavilion. The grievances of the royal family. Just let this guy chatter. When my blood demon's vitality is almost restored, then this continent is ours. As for the 3 ghosts of the Blood River continent in the ghost world, they want to compete with our blood demons, and they are crazy blood. After the demon envoy finished speaking, he left here in an instant, leaving only King Xianling and Xian Kang. Xuan Song. King Xianling said in a sublime position. My subordinates are here. Xian Kang said respectfully. Ha ha ha. Seeing Xian Kang being so obedient, King Xianling laughed. King Xianling could feel that the power of his soul in Xian Kang's body was deeply ingrained. My king, oh no. The Medusa clan has attacked with a large number of strong men. Our Xianling royal family has suffered heavy losses at present. Just when Xianling King smiled extremely brightly, in an inconspicuous space, Wenzi directly poured out of the passage. out, and then spoke to King Shenling. As soon as Wenzi finished speaking, he suddenly found that the current King Xuanling's aura seemed to be different from before, even stronger than Qin Tian, and not far from King Shenling, an old man with a soft face also appeared slowly. When his eyes just saw the old man, the fighting spirit in Wenzi's body instantly solidified, and a chill emerged. He glanced at the silver statues of the ancestors of the imprisoned Yang Kai and Shenling, and found that neither of them were seen. Let's go. Some lowly snake people. This time, kill them all. King Shenling swept up after he finished speaking, and left here with Wenzi. As for Shen Kang, he followed King Shenling closely. Following the brief battle between King Shenling and Queen Medusa, the Shenling royal family was also attacked by other powerful men from the Medusa clan. There is a moat between the Shenling royal family and Shenling city, but at this time, the soldiers guarding the city wall on the moat discovered something. What is that? At this time, a guard guarding the Shenling royal family's city wall looked at a group of black objects in the sky, couldn't tell what it was, and couldn't help but said, "Be vigilant. An enemy is invading." One of the commanders, before he could finish speaking, was suddenly killed by a silent palm. The one who took the life of this soldier was an extremely enchanting woman. And the other soldiers saw that their commander, who was as powerful as a 3-star Dodi, was so easily killed by the woman in front of them, and couldn't help but feel a little chill in their hearts. "Yuri, it looks like you can't do it anymore." Another old man also appeared slowly and smiled. "Snake King, you'd better take care of yourself." Being so contemptuous by the man, the woman was slightly dissatisfied, and immediately killed the Shenling royal guard on the city wall. This woman is also the leader of the Snake and Scorpion tribe among the 8 major tribes of the Medusa clan, and she is full of the strength of the 8-star Dudi perfection level. "Yuri, where's the queen?" Elder Snake became convinced of Queen Medusa at this time. After all, he couldn't accept it. He was a powerhouse with the bloodline of the 10-colored swallowing python, and he would have to rely on Medusa to break through the half-immortal or transcend the calamity in the future. "Queen Shaw." The queen seems to sense King Xuanling's position, so she went to find King Shenling. "This time, the few of us are going to turn the Shenling royal family upside down," Yu Rui said slightly, and as soon as he finished speaking, the leaders of several other tribes appeared at the same time. At this moment, the leaders of the 8 major tribes of the Medusa family are gathered here. "The queen's current strength of 1-star fighting immortals is complete. I'm afraid she may walk sideways in Shen San San," Elder Snake said slowly. The Medusa family invaded the Shenling royal family. Just as Yuri and the old snake were talking, a figure suddenly emitted a strange silver smoke among the fallen corpses in front of him, and then all vitality was lost. "It seems that your strength has declined." My Lan heard the words and said slightly, "I didn't expect it." Yu Rui said with a slight smile. After Yuri finished speaking, the 8 people crossed the moat and the city wall and headed towards the interior of the Shenling imperial house. However, as the soldier sent a signal before he fell, the entire Shenling royal family suddenly became restless. The Shenling royal family covers an extremely large area, and the palace and the moat are separated by thousands of miles, so the Medusa family is only in the moat now, and there is still a lot of distance from the palace. What happened? Just now, the highest level help signal was issued in the direction of the moat. At this time, in the Shenling royal palace, the council hall was already full of people. The one who spoke was the 3rd prince, Xuanmu, who was most highly valued by King Shenling. "Everyone, be quiet." At this time, Shenmu's body stood up slightly, and then the voice spread in the conference room. With Xuanmu's opening, the entire hall suddenly became quiet. They knew that the strength of the Xuanmu in front of him might not be strong, but I am afraid that no one dared to underestimate the power behind these years. Not surprisingly, I am afraid it will be the next Shenling king. Everyone here is the elite backbone of our Shenling royal family. According to the news just received, the leaders of the 8 major tribes of the Medusa family have invaded. So far, they have come to the moat. And all the soldiers we were in charge of guarding the city river fell. Xuanmu took a deep breath and said immediately, "I think it has something to do with the previous time King Shenling took the dragon-loving legion to the Medusa family." Some of the civil servants nearby couldn't help but say, Yeah. It may be that King Shenling did something shameful that time, which made the Medusa family so angry." Some people also agreed. "Enough. Now that the troops are under the city, do you still have the heart to say this?" Shen Mu suddenly slapped the table upon hearing this. How could the Medusa clan suddenly attack our Shenling royal family? Is there any hidden meaning in this? Following Xuanmu's opening, A thin and yellow-faced man also stood up and said. Seeing the man stand up, Xuanmu's eyelids couldn't help but jump. The person in front of him is the great general of their Xianling royal family. He is nicknamed Qianli Crazy Fighting. He is an extremely war-loving guy. One of the major problems. I don't know what General Xuanzhan's opinion is. Xuanmu is very personable after all, and at this moment, he can't use his anger. Let King Xianling come out and preside over. Although your personality and overall situation are good, you are still a little too tender. Xianzhan did not shy away and said directly. Maybe you will disappoint General Xian. My father seems to have something to do. He is not in the Xianling royal family, and I tried my best to find him. Besides, there are also no trace of those who are addicted to the Dragon Legion. Xuanmu said solemnly. What are these damned guys doing? Now that the 8 leaders of the Medusa clan are approaching the city, if they are not there, I'm afraid. Xianzhan couldn't help saying when he heard the words. So when the troops are under the city, we can only deal with them first and wait until they come back. Otherwise, this time our Xianling royal family will fall into a state of doom. Xuanmu said vigilantly. The 8 leaders of the Medusa family, how can we people deal with? It seems that the Xianling royal family is also at the end of the road. Be quiet, if you say that, be careful of being implicated in the 9 clan. In the conference room, most of the strengths are only at the level of 5-star Do Emperor, most of them are civil and military officials, and there are very few who have strength above the rank of 7-star Do Emperor, and some intermittent voices keep coming. Sounded. Ha ha ha. The timid generation of the Xianling royal family. The Medusa family is coming for revenge. While everyone was still discussing how to deal with it, a monstrous voice, containing extremely huge power, was directly introduced into the conference room hall. Humph. Snake King, you are too arrogant. After Xianzhan finished speaking, the terrifying fighting spirit suddenly radiated out, and then he jumped suddenly and swept towards the old man above the sky. Looking at that aura, this Xianzhan was actually a powerhouse who stepped into the rank 9 Do Emperor. Oh, Xianzhan, I didn't expect you to be dead. And it seems to have broken through to the level of a 9-star Do Emperor. Last time you ran away like a lost dog, so this time, you won't have any chance. The old man Xianzhan above the sky, his voice was full of contempt. And beside the king, 7 powerhouses exuding a shocking aura also slowly appeared in everyone's sight. The Snake King of the Snake King tribe, a powerhouse at the level of the 9-star Do D. Mai Lan of the charming Snake tribe, a complete powerhouse of the 8-star Do D. Yu Rui of the Snake tribe, a complete powerhouse of the 8-star Do D. Xuanmu stared at the sky, and the 8 people with a shocking aura in their bodies couldn't help but said slightly. The leader of the 8 major tribes of Medusa, this time is in trouble. The next moment, Xuanmu clenched his fist tightly. Obviously, this time, things might be in trouble. My father is not here, and neither is the Dragon Addiction Legion, nor are the 2 strongest forces of the Xianling royal family, and this is going to the point of no redemption. Leave this Xuanzhan to me. Mai Lan on the side opened her mouth and said. Then I'll leave it to you. The Snake King didn't take it seriously when he heard the words. After all, the Snake King knew that this Xuanzhan was only a powerful person in the Xianling royal family, and he needed to deal with the stronger person. Is there no one in the Xianling royal family? Then, it seems that this time it's time to slaughter the city. Yu Rui's seductive figure stirred slightly, then smiled and looked at the high-level Xianling royal family below. What a fairy. That should be Yu Rui from the Snake Scorpion tribe, who is also a powerhouse with a complete 8-star Do Di. Who will deal with it? Xuanmu looked around and found that no one was fighting. Leave it to our 2 brothers. Just when Xuanmu was helpless, the 2 figures slowly walked out of an inconspicuous and hungry place. Xianyin, Xianyang, aren't you 2 guarding the underground palace? How could it be? Seeing this, Xuanmu couldn't help but say. I'm afraid the underground palace is not important anymore. After Xianxin and Xianyang finished speaking, one of them confronted Yu Rui, and the other one also dealt with a strong man among the 8 leaders who also stepped into the rank of 9-star Do Di. There are 5 more. Looking at the 3 battle circles in the sky, Xuanmu couldn't help but say. What is the Xianling royal family doing? What about the Xianling king and the people from the Dragon Addiction Legion? Last time, the people of the Dragon-Loving Legion killed our Medusa snake guard so badly, this time we must show them a little color. The Snake King looked around, but did not find any other powerful aura, and immediately spoke. Go. The one in Xingyi in the crowd is the rare 3rd prince of the Xianling royal family, kill him. With the voice of the Snake King, A shadowy figure flickered next to him, assassinating the mysterious tree below. And go! Bastard! Seeing this, Xuanmu felt a wave of fear in his heart. He, in the territory of my Xianling royal family, when will it be your turn to go wild? And just as the shadow was about to attack Xuanmu, a man in a silver helmet slowly appeared. A powerful breath suddenly spread out. A powerhouse at the level of the 9 stars Dodi? Seeing this, Chen Ying's attack was instantly shaken off, and a hint of doubt appeared in her prismatic pupils. This breath did not resemble a strong man who had entered the Medusa clan before. Captain Yang. Seeing the man in the silver helmet, Shen Mu's face was relieved. The person in front of him is the current leader of the Wolf Eagle Corps, Yang Tian, a powerhouse at the level of the 3rd-ranking 9-star Dodi. Yang Tian. Ailey, come back. Seeing the appearance of the strong man in front of him, the Snake King shouted directly. Ellie's strength is only the perfection of the 8-star Do Emperor, so she can't deal with the powerhouse who has stepped into the 9-star Do Emperor. Ha ha. The leaders of the 8 major tribes of the Medusa family gathered together. It's really a big battle. Yang Tian slowly stared at the remaining 5 people in the sky. The other 3 had already fought hard against the 3 of their Xianling royal family difficulty solving. Yang Tian, you don't need to go through so much. You and I, the grievances have long been irresolvable, and the previous time, your Xianling king brought the dragon-loving legion into the desert of death, almost letting the blood of our Medusa clan fall. This time, we are here to take revenge. The Snake King said coldly. Ha ha ha. Come on then. I wanted to experience the Snake King of the Medusa clan's Snake King tribe for a long time. After Yang Tian finished speaking, he suddenly jumped into the sky and launched a fierce offensive with the Snake King. There are 4 more. Xuanmu couldn't help but said. The 3 of us can deal with one. The 2 of us are also willing to fight. Not long after that, some powerhouses who were in the early and middle stages of the 8-star Do Emperor also stood up one after another. Okay. Don't seek victory, as long as you don't lose. Xuanmu nodded slightly when he heard the words. Third brother, leave those last 2 to us. Just when Xuanmu was worried about the last 2 leaders, a laughter came out at the same time. Fourth brother? Deputy Commander Zhuoli? Xuanmu said in surprise as the voice appeared. I went out to practice with my master before. I wanted to rush back to participate in the Fairy Moon Ruins, but my master just made a breakthrough, so I missed some time. Xian Shan said with a smile. 9-star Do Emperor? Xuanmu couldn't help but asked in surprise. Yep. Leave the remaining 2 to me. After Zhuoli finished speaking, Zhu Xingdou's aura instantly swept out, and then directly confronted the last 2 Medusa powerhouses. Until this time, as many as 8 battle circles slowly appeared above the entire Xianling royal family's sky. And with the intensity of such fluctuations, the crowd below the Xianling royal family and the people in the surrounding Xianling city also became agitated. What is that? Look at this poisonous aura, it's a bit like the powerhouse of the Medusa clan. How could the strong Medusa clan attack the Xianling royal family? What about the Xianling king and the people from the Dragon Addiction Legion? Some panicked people kept ringing. Although your number is the same as ours, but our 8 leaders, the weakest one is the 8-star Dudi consummation. It seems that this time, your Xianling royal family is going to lose a lot of meat. Looking at the other 7 battles, the Snake King did not the first time to do it, Wei said, because he knew that he and Yang Tian were the strongest representatives of both sides, and their winning or losing largely determined their morale. If you want to swallow my Xianling royal family, I'm afraid your Medusa family will also be hurt. Yang Tian heard the words and said coldly, the current situation is extremely unfavorable for their Xianling royal family. If they are caught by their 7 leaders, anyone who frees up their hands, I am afraid that all of them will fall here. King Xianling, Dragon Addiction Legion, what are you doing? Yang Tian was extremely puzzled, but he didn't have time to think about it so much. He was busy dealing with the Snake King. He had to defeat the Snake King as soon as possible. But what Yang Tian didn't find is that, in the 8 battle circles, except for Yang Tian and Shenyan and Shenyang, the battle was suppressed, and the other 5 were actually suppressed by force. Looking at this appearance, it seems that the Xianling royal family is going to be unlucky. Originally, according to my previous urination, this fight could have been written in 10 chapters. Some readers are right, and it's enough to cover the not-so-important one. Well, so that's the chapter of the fight. This video will end here.